Adam Christ from MyMMANews.com, being joined by Garcia Borbon. She is the winner of the 2022 USMF World Games, also the Freedom Fighter Promotions 105-pound champions. She is an absolute stud in the 105-pound weight class. So first and foremost, I got to thank my guest for joining me. Janet, we've only spent maybe a couple seconds in the ring while I did a post-fight interview with you. It's my pleasure to finally get an extensive interview with you. Thank you so much for joining me.
Well, thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure.
Oh, the pleasure is all mine. Getting to talk to an illustrious champion like yourself, I'll take it on a Friday all day of the week. So first and foremost, if I'm doing my homework correctly, you got some ink therapy lately, right? What's the newest edition?
Oh, yeah. I got my shin done. I usually like to get like tattoos after my fights. Mm-hmm. They're like a little gift for me to me. Okay. So yeah, I just got my shin done yesterday. It's pretty painful. There were some parts that were very painful. Some parts not so much.
Now, has that been an ongoing thing for how long? After each fight, it's like, all right, now we got to get the tattoo in.
Yeah, so when was it? When I started doing my sleeve, maybe 2019, I believe. That's when I started just like doing a little piece of my sleeve, and so after each fight, like I like to get a little piece done, just because I don't get time off that much, like often during fight camp. I can't have a fresh new tattoo and still be in fight camp. There's no way. So I like to do it right after. So that's my little time for myself. Yeah.
Is there any like theme that you're going with on each part of the limbs, per se? Like you said, you did your shin there. You have your sleeve you're working with. Is there an ongoing theme?
I guess my theme is just with my tattoo artist. I just go to her and pretty much I let her do whatever she wants. I really like her artwork. Yeah. So actually yesterday, I just told her like months ago, like I wanted to get my shin done. And didn't see anything until yesterday. She just showed me the tattoo. I was like, yeah, I like it. Let's do it. So there's this trust there. So I really like her style. So I just go to her.
Hey, if you can't trust your tattoo artist, I mean, who can you trust, honestly?
Right? Yeah, so, you have to trust them.
So like I mentioned, a champion in your own rights, a champion in many different promotions. Before we get into the actual games themselves, I want to hear from you, your journey into Muay Thai. Like I said, we've only had a few seconds to chat. Now that I have you, I want to hear what got you into martial arts, specifically Muay Thai.
Martial arts in general, what got me into was anime. So I used to watch a lot of anime when I was little.
That's a common theme.
Yeah, I think so. I just saw the anime people and just like fighting and stuff like that. And when I was little, I was like, I want to do that. And I always looked for something that was going to get me to do that in a way. So martial arts was the best way. So I used to watch Dragon Ball, Power Rangers, what was the other one? Sailor Moon, and a bunch of other ones that I really enjoyed. And that just brought my love for martial arts. For Muay Thai, actually, it was a Groupon that got me into Muay Thai. I think I turned 21 or something, and I was looking on Groupon, and there was this like 1 month for AKA, and then I just bought it, and then I loved it. After the 1 month, I still came back.
That's so impressive and amazing that I actually was gonna ask. My very next question was, growing up as a little girl, did you imagine becoming a professional fighter? Now here you are saying that growing up watching anime, you wanted to figure out how to get it, and then by chance a Groupon going into the gym, and then let's make this life happen. So it just seemed to fall into place almost.
A little bit, yeah. There was when I went to middle school, I don't want to say fell out of love for martial arts, but it was like becoming a teenager and everything, and kind of not messing stuff, but I wanted to explore other things in my life. So I took a step back from martial arts, and I really take a really long time off of it. And then once I started getting older, I wanted to move around more and get into fitness again. So that's why I bought the Groupon again. Yeah.
So Muay Thai, obviously, it's a sport of integrity, tradition, honor, respect. The list goes on, but it's one of those sports where the respect is there and it's to the core. One of the many reasons I love covering Muay Thai in itself. So homing in on that, what has Muay Thai done for you that has overall just made you a better person?
I think discipline. It's one of the things that, like, you have to be very disciplined to just get to a certain level of like fighting, right? And there's going to be times where you don't want to train and you're lazy. A lot of times when you don't want to train and you just want to stay home and do the like nothing and just watch TV. But I guess Muay Thai has shown me discipline. Like even when you don't want to do stuff, you just have to do them, because if you want to get to a certain point in your career or you have a certain goal, you're going to have to do them no matter what.
Yeah. Now, getting into the games themselves, the USMF World Games 2022 is a huge deal for Muay Thai. Now, I don't want to risk butchering what it truly means for the fighters and talking about it. So I want to hear it from your mouth itself. What is the USMF tournament? What was it about? And how does one even get invited?
So, got invited. I submitted an application online. They had this like just so you could submit to, so they could review if you actually qualify even to go. So I submitted, and then I got my letter of acceptance saying, yeah, you fit the requirements, right, to come and fight for the qualifiers. For me, this is a dream come true. Like getting to represent USA at the World Games. That's like, it's next to the Olympics, right? I mean, Muay Thai just got into the Olympics, and this is like right there with it. So it means the world to me. It's like a dream come true. Just being able to go there and win it and be able to represent in July.
Now, I would imagine the next step, obviously July is going to be the next big step in this, but Olympics, is that going to be on the table in the future?
Definitely. I would love it. I mean, yeah, why not, right? I mean, yeah, definitely. Who wants, I mean, just to think about it, it's just like, hell yeah. It's like every athlete's dream, I believe, is to be an Olympic like medalist, right? Olympic athlete. So yes, of course.
So getting there in Colorado was a 3-4 day event. Can you take us through each day? Like when you got there to the airport, you got to, the fighter meetings. What was the brackets like? The Muay Thai community is a small community, so I'm sure you knew some of the faces that were there. I just have so many questions. So going from day one, can you take us through each day?
Yeah. Just when I got there, there was like you said, Muay Thai is like a small community, and I see a lot of people on Instagram and I follow them and do this. And so being there, I was just like, hey, I seen you and I seen you fight and see you. And hey, there's that guy and this is guy. It was really awesome just to see everybody there in person. I really love that part. We didn't know who we were going to fight until like the night of, or like, right before the weigh-ins. So right after we knew like, all right, we're going to fight this day and that's it. So it was pretty fun. I guess they're trying to imitate how there is going to be at the World Games, right? You're never going to know who you're going to fight until like after you weigh in and everything. They're going to let you know.
Now, how many times did you fight during the weekend, and did you have to weigh in for each fight, or was it just one weigh in for the weekend?
No, so I fought twice, and I needed to weigh in every time that I fought. So the day I fought, I had to wake up, cut a little bit, go weigh in, hydrate, fight.
I'm sure you've been around the competitions before as far as like tournament styles. You've trained with people that have done it. But what does that do when you go into a completely unknown area? You're not used to where you usually get your eating done and, your usual treats, whatnot, where you have to go, you have to cut weight, you have to fight, and then you have to maintain a certain weight. It's not like you can go and celebrate, like you have to get ready to fight. So how is that? Like, what do you do to maintain some kind of sanity?
I think the people around you, like my team is they're like my they are my family, right? So just having them around, it just made everything run so smoothly. Like I made sure like this camp out, my weight was on point. So that way I didn't have to cut like a lot I think I only cut like 2 pounds each time. So yeah, it was pretty easy. It's pretty easy.
Sounds like an easy cut.
Yeah. I think the last cut, the Sunday for the championship, I woke up like a pound over. So I did like a little bath, and then 15 minutes after I was on weight. So it was really, really easy. They made it super easy. My team just, everything I needed, they were right there. Right. So I just had to ask them like, oh, can you guys get me this or whatever? And they like, yeah, no worries. We got you. So it's great.
So now that everything's said and done, obviously, you don't have to keep anything a secret. Were there any lingering injuries from your first fight that you had to stay conscious of for your second fight?
Not linger injuries for the fight. Actually, injuries from like the training. I came in with a bunch of little bruises and stuff. Like I didn't. My hip hurt, my shoulder hurt. Everything was. It wasn't 100, but I was like, it is what it is. You know. By the time when I'm up there, I forget like anything hurts, and I just go. It's just the adrenaline.
So once your first fight got done, how did you rest or entertain yourself, knowing that you have to get right back in there? What, the next day?
I had a day off. I had
Okay.
because yeah. So I had a day off to just recover, but it was. I think it was a little more hard just because I had to overthink. Like I would rather have like fight after fight after fight, so I don't have to overthink so much.
Where you're sitting there and stewing and waiting for it.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm like, okay, so like I can't eat yet. I have to maintain a good.
So what do you do to entertain yourself? I mean, do you take like your PlayStation 4 out there? Like, what do you do to keep yourself occupied?
Me and my teammates started watching a new show on HBO. It's called Euphoria.
Ah, there it is. Zendaya.
So that was very entertaining. That was like, there were an hour long episodes that was perfect for us. We were just watching that. And every time we were like not fighting or in the room, we were just watching the show.
It was fighting in Euphoria. And you know what? Coming back the champion, I'm sure that brings some sense of euphoria in itself. So there, it almost like it prefaced your weekend.
Yeah.
So outside of your fights, obviously being impressive enough in itself, what fights stood out to you other than your own? I'm sure there was huge competition out there, tons of great fighters. I saw that a guy from my home state, Delaware, Bazooka Joe Stripling, great professional fighter, fights for Lion Fights. He took on a Bellator vet. So, I mean, the competition was stiff out there. What fight stood out to you?
Oh, wow. I have a lot of fights. I really liked, there's a couple, Amy Duke and Coral. I think they fought either Friday or Saturday. I don't remember. That was a really good fight. It was really good. I really enjoyed that one. Also, the final with I forgot her name. I'm so sorry. I can't remember the other girl. Cora went to the finals and she fought this other amazing fighter. I forgot her name. It's in the tip of my tongue, but that one's really good too. Let's see. Sean Clamaco was really good until he got injured. That was so painful to watch. But he was doing really good. And I think the chef, right? I believe I forgot his name, but his nickname is the chef. The chef. Oh my God, what's his name? I just know him as the chef, but his fight was really good. He's really tall. He's really tall.
The chef is not ringing a bell off the top of my head. But anyway, congratulations to him on great fights.
Yeah. I mean, there were... Especially the final Sunday, oh my God, they were all really good. They were so competitive because I believe like they were all like equally like good. So it was just the fireworks. So good.
Was there any friendships that you were able to make out there that you didn't previously had? Obviously, it's a small community. You matched a bunch of faces with social media and whatnot. Any new relationships formed?
Not so much new relationships, but I was happy to see a lot of friendships that I made throughout the Muay Thai community. Yeah. Like seeing them there, it was so great.
Yeah, maintaining.
Yeah.
So can you describe the feeling when you heard your name or just the color of your corner? Obviously, with sometimes tournaments, it does, red corner.
Yeah,
blue corner,
yeah.
Right. What was that feeling when you heard it being announced? You were the gold winner. You're the winner for Team USA.
Yeah. It felt like happiness, relief, excitement. It was just one of the best days of my life, honestly. It was just like all the hard work that I put into this camp. And not just this camp, it's just like throughout my fighting career where I started and what it took me to get to this point. It was just everything. It's like sometimes you wonder, like, as amateurs, like, we don't get paid or we don't, we do this because we love it and we have other lives around it and we shape and mold our life just to be able to run and train and do this and do that. So all the sacrifices, they just paid off. It was so good.
So I know July's next for USMF, right? Do you have any other upcoming bouts before that?
I'm trying to get something. Hopefully, we'll see. but really, really trying to just get something before then. Yeah.
Gotcha. So speaking of what's next, I know you're the champion of a relatively young Muay Thai promotion. We mentioned it before, a couple seconds in the ring. It's absolutely blowing up, not only just across the nation, but I mean, they're bringing in fighters worldwide. Freedom Fighter Promotions. Again, you're the 105-pound champion. We would love to see you back in that ring. So when can we expect to see you defending your belt? And also, what does it mean to be a champion for such a new and prosperous organization?
I really hope I can get to the defend either maybe before the Worlds or after Worlds. Sorry, it's my dog. Yeah. Like I was saying, before or after, whenever they have somebody for me, I would love to go back. I mean, I love New York. I love going there. So just to be able to go there and fight, I'm like, yes, let's do it. Why not? Yeah.
Since I have you, and again, freedom fighting, and topic of discussion was USMF, but again, since you're a multi-champion of multiple promotions, now working with Rami, being friends with him, and knowing how much he puts into the Muay Thai community, can you tell us, Freedom Fighter Promotions, they're doing it big in the Muay Thai community currently, being the reigning, defending champion, what's that like? But like a new but prosperous organization.
Yeah. I mean, it's great. He puts a lot of girl fights in every card, which I really, really love that, because sometimes other cards, they do have like maybe one or two, but with him, there's been like 5+, and it's rare to see, which is so good because females need all the support that we can get. Right.
And not only female fights, sorry to cut you off, but some of the best female Thai fighters that I've been fortunate enough to witness in person, yourself being one of them, Summer Bronco, Lisa Lynn Ettinger, Amy Duke, like you had mentioned previously. Yeah. These females are absolute monsters, and I mean that in like the greatest way possible as far as athletics go.
Yeah.
That oftentimes, I'll be honest, I look forward to their fights more so than the men fights.
Yeah, I feel like the females they just give everything in that ring, they're just so focused, and after everything, so respectful too. So it's like everything. Yeah, I feel like female fighters just pour their heart and soul into that ring, and they just leave it out there for everybody to see, which is so beautiful.
It's amazing. I love it. So final thing I got for you. I know you have Resilient behind you. I see your Instagram posts. Obviously, great company. Love their gear. I know it's comfy, but let the fans know how they can keep up with you on social media. Shout out to your sponsors, everything like that. The floor is yours.
Okay. So, Resilient, thank you so much for all they've done to me. Like, honestly, they helped me so much through my camp for the World Qualifiers, and they supported me so much. So, they are a very, very good company that really care about the Muay Thai community. They're not one of those companies like they just want your money and buy, like they give back to the community, which is so lovely. It's so nice to see. So they can, you can watch my reels and follow me on social media with Instagram at Yanet. It's YAHNET, just one word. And if you want to get some supplements or something like that, I have my link in my little bio, so you can get everything that I like to take too.
Awesome. Well, again, an absolute champion in your own right. It was an absolute pleasure getting to share some time with you tonight. I can't wait to scream your name from the center of the ring once again when you're defending your title, and best of luck going forward in the games. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you so much for having me on.
It was my pleasure. There she goes, Yanet Garcia Borbon. She is the winner of the 2022 USMF Games, the Freedom Fighter 105-pound champion. The list goes on. You don't want to miss this female fight. I promise you that she brings it every time. For this champion, Yanet Borbon, I'm Adam Christ. Keep it locked to MyMMANews.com for all your fight news needs.